If you're wholesaling or figuring out how to implement AI into your real estate business, this is the episode for you. Today's guest, Jonah Korchin, gives us all the details on how he goes direct to agent wholesaling through his built website and business, SimpleSend, and he's going to be able to break down some different AI agents that he's building to be able to make real estate easier for you. I'm your host, Chris Rickenbaugh, and this is the Leadway Podcast, where I'm documenting my journey in real estate and business and also bringing on high-level entrepreneurs to share their stories and how they built their businesses. You can follow my journey on Instagram and TikTok at chris.rickenbaugh. That's chris.richenbach. And make sure you stick around to the end of the episode where Jonah's talking about his business. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram after the episode and be able to download all of his free resources and get connected with him. Now, let's hop into Jonah's interview. Jonah Korchin, welcome to the Leadway Podcast, take number 2. How's it going, man?
Good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I messed up your last name on the first try, but got it on the
It's okay.
second. Pumped to get you on because I found you through direct to agent wholesaling, was just scrolling through Instagram on some other flippers, and you were doing a demo. And I said, well, man, I've been doing that for 2 weeks, don't have any systems, kind of needed some direction. And you had some free resources that I downloaded, and that's completely changed the game for me. And 2 months in, we have 2 deals closing, one today, one next week.
Go.
So I said, man, I want to get you on the podcast and dive into your brain a little bit about, what you do and who you are. But I'll let you, give us a quick intro. Who is Jonah Korchin and what do you do?
Yeah, so thank you so much. Like, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on here, and I also appreciate you reaching out and like letting me know that something I gave out for free or something I did like got you money, right? I think people forget to do that, right? And I just appreciate it because you never know. You never know when you do podcasts, you do a demo, like someone actually uses what you put out there and makes a ton of money, right? And I just love that first off. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Um, in terms of what I do a lot of different things. So my calling card for the past 6 years has been direct to agent wholesaling, right? That's been like what I'm most known for. It's my main business. I do a bunch of other things. I've probably done 10 flips. I have a handful of buy and holds. I run an AI company where we build AI employees. Like I've replaced a lot of my employees with AI virtual assistants that act exactly the same way my employees did. And also, I own a CRM company. So, depending on your level, if you just need like a system, right? I have a company called SimpleSend, SIMPL, send.com. That's like if you want all of my workflows, all of my just everything I use in my system to get deals every single day, that's another company that I own. Um, and then I do make a lot of content just to teach people because I really like it. I really love seeing people like you, Chris, who like see something and then use it and make money. It brings me a lot of joy. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, we can take that in a bunch of different directions, but I kind of want to start with how you found real estate. Everybody finds it a different way, but what was your entry point and what were you doing before?
Yeah, what I was doing before was completely different. So I graduated college. I went into the Peace Corps, which for what people don't know, that's like where you volunteer in a third world country doing something.
Interesting.
I did like a woman's peanut butter factory in the Dominican Republic. Came back, always had like an entrepreneurial vision, started doing all sorts of stuff, doing like the Gary V garage sale flipping. I did that once. I was
No
like, this
way.
sucks. I like hate this. And then just finding out different things. And then I go to a real estate event, a real estate meetup, because I was like, I never thought about real estate. Let's see what this is. And then go there. It's about like long-term buy and holding. And I'm like, this is cool and all, but what if you don't have literally any money? Like I have $8,000 in my bank account. Like what do you do? Right? And everybody kept mentioning wholesaling over and over again. And I'm like, hmm. That seems cool. I think I could do this business model. I literally just have to find somebody, relate to them, negotiate a good price for a house, and then resell that contract. without needing to know anything about the house, I think I can do that. Like that sounds like my business model. I don't want to have inventory. I really, really like it. And then I found different communities like Sub2 with Pace Morby and Astro Flipping with Jamil Damji. They
Hmm.
taught me a ton, got me started. And then I was like, okay, let's take it to the races. And then obviously started developing a bit of my own system too, like as time went on and like developing my own way of getting deals versus the way that they get deals, mixing and matching different things that fit my personality style. And that's it. And then that's how I kind of started in real estate.
Yeah, and what was the timeline on that? Because real estate has gone through so many different cycles here, with even from like the past 5 years. So what year was that around when you got started?
I started the day the world shut down, or like 2 or 3 days after the world shut down
Oh
during
wow.
COVID. So like April 2020.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
from getting started, like how long did it take you to get that first deal? Did you do a bunch of like learning and content, or were
So
you like just driven?
I was like first month YouTube University it, and then I kind of got hooked on Jamil Damji's program, Astro Flipping. Joined that, got my first deal about 4 months in, just from cold calling sellers. Um, Made 10 grand, took that 10 grand, immediately bought Pace Morby's Sub2, and then struggled for 6 months. Didn't get my second deal for another 6 months, right? Because I was starting to do agents and sellers, and I don't recommend that to anybody. Like, you got to choose one method, right? Like, if you want to build a business, you got to do one way of making money, right? There are amazing things about going direct to seller, and there are hard things, right? Same thing with agents, right? It goes both ways. And so. Yeah, they're both great methods, but you got to choose one, right? Like my metaphor for this is if you're trying to cross a river, don't build a bridge made of wood a third of the way, and another bridge made of stone a third of the way, and then another bridge of brick a third of the way. Build one bridge all the way, right? So
Yeah.
I like direct to agent. I was like this is gonna be better. I don't like to paying for marketing costs, right? And so I went the direct to agent route and I just kind of stuck with it for until now, forever.
Yeah, how long did it take to kind of get some consistency in wholesaling? Because, it takes a while to be able to learn kind of the deal structures. What do I need to be at? How do I comp? When did that start getting a little bit more streamlined for you to actually have a real business?
So it depends what you count as a real business, right? My
Consistent
second year,
income, I'd say.
yeah, my second year I made like actual money. I started making real money, right? My second year, I think I made 500,000 in revenue, and I was a solopreneur with one VA, so it was like I don't know 350 grand in profit. That was an amazing year too, just because it was the COVID boom, right? That
Mhm.
was 2021, so real estate was popping off, right? Um, and then yeah, and then I think kept going. That was like when that it started. Usually by the second year, you should be able to have turned it into a job.
Mhm.
By year two, it should at least be a job where you can live off the income.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because kind of where, my journey is, that's where I was flipping for a year and a half, bad partnership, bad contractors, and now we kind of leveled everything. We're kind of starting over and it's me and I'm going direct to agent wholesaling. So started in, middle of January this year, within 2 months, two deals locked up and
Nice.
closing this week. So I see how long it takes to be able to, build that pipeline of agents. So, for those newer investors who, they could go to SimpleSend your app in your service, you know, how do they start getting into it? Is it as simple as just, going to Zillow and start calling every
It's
agent
really
or
simple. So like here's the process. Here's my business in like in under 5 minutes,
yeah.
right? Basically, either A, use ChatGPT to scrape brokerage websites, right? Use the GPT agent, scrape brokerage websites for their phone number and their name, right? Make an Excel file sheet. You could really go the cheap way and like do it manually and go to each brokerage website in your market, go to search by county, and then make a list of real estate agents that way. Another way to do it is go buy prop stream, and you can download lists of agents for about $100 a month and download 10,000, right? And then you have the list of agents, and then it's pretty simple, right? Like my method is text messaging to reach out to these people, right? There are a bunch of CRMs out there like Launch Control and a bunch of others. I mean, obviously my favorite is mine, SimpleSend, because it's built for direct to
Yeah.
agent. Most CRMs are built for direct to seller, but this one specializes in specifically direct to agent. So I'd highly recommend it. It's not very expensive. I think it's super cheap. It's like $150 a month with a setup fee. And yeah, it's just if you do that, then you upload the list, you send out text messages, you send out like 250 a day, right? 200 to 250 a day. You'll get 50 to 80 people responding, and you call all of them and do an intro call, talk about any properties they got, and then put them into a follow-up where the system automatically texts them every other week for the rest of their lives. If you do that for years on end, you will be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what happens. It is super easy to turn wholesaling into a job. It gets hard turning wholesaling into a business, like with
Right.
employees. That's been the struggle for me for the past 4 or 5 years, much more than turning it into a job. It's really easy to turn it into a job pretty quickly, to be honest.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think it's very hard to do deals. I think it's super hard to grow and actually turn it into a business.
Yeah, I understand that 100%. Just kind of what I'm going through. It's like all the Google Sheets. So I definitely need to get into Simple Send because what I was doing was just direct, I was going down homes.com, clicking on the agent, finding their number, and that takes so
Colin.
long. So you're just downloading the list and then, importing the phone numbers for that text and then calling when they respond. That kind of blows my mind because I've seen a lot of agents, respond negatively to a text first, but if I'm calling and then sending a follow-up text, it's like how do you balance the AI can do it so much better versus the human relationship?
I mean, in terms of the text message, yeah, you want, I mean, it's better to call them first, but also I don't like doing that. It takes up a lot of time, right?
For
Just
sure.
a volume versus quality game, right? Because as soon as like they just respond with anything that isn't screw you, then call them. And then they'll hear, oh, this is a human. I might have not thought it was a human initially, but then you call them, they hear your voice,
Hmm.
right? So it's not complicated. Yeah, some people have an issue with it. Some people don't like answering phone calls and they'd rather get a text. I'm that type of person. I don't answer any phone calls from anyone, but if someone texts me and I'm actually interested in something, I'll like respond there.
Interesting.
So it depends on what type of human you are. Every human has a different thing, right? I don't think it's a bad idea to cold call. I think it's inefficient. That's
That makes
all.
sense. So so at this point you've built out your CRM to where it's instantly messaging people, you're doing the cold calls and follow-ups. Like are is you just stuck in a specific market and was able to grow that way over time, or have you moved out to different markets just to repeat the
I've
process?
tried different markets over time. I've tried Florida, I've tried Denver. I like California the most for me personally. It's where I learned real estate, and also I just like how I get more money for the same amount of work because they're just such expensive properties. Like, I think it's almost nearly impossible to get a six-figure deal in Denver or Florida. I get two to three minimum every single year in California,
Wow.
right? Like half my like like a third of my income every year is from like two or three deals, right? Third to
Really?
half. So like it's just I don't know. I like those big boy ones.
Yeah, I mean that makes way more sense. So are you filtering for those deals specifically, or you just know that it's out in California?
No, it's just naturally gonna happen in California because the houses are so insanely expensive,
And
right?
yeah, and they're dealing with the same problems we are here over on hundred thousand
It's all the
dollar
same
houses.
thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's no
Yeah.
different, right? I mean, there are benefits to going to cheaper markets. The benefits of cheaper markets is it's not as hard to negotiate 5 grand off of what you need versus a $3 million house and getting it 100 grand cheaper, right? So it's a harder negotiation, but when you hit really big, right? I like that more personally. But there's nothing wrong with going to a smaller market, or not smaller, but just cheaper market too, right? You just have to do way more volume.
That makes sense for sure. Like we had one guy out here. I've had him on the podcast. He started right around 2022 and just going direct to agent. He's like, "Oh yeah, I did 54 deals my first year." And then the next two were both 100 deal years. And I'm like, I I can do that same thing as long as I'm cold calling agents. Like I know the numbers are there, and just being able to stick within that certain market is interesting. But I wanted to ask, like, what are you saying to these agents when you pick up the phone? Are you asking for a specific deal? Are you offering them double representation and commissions? Like, what's this
So,
conversation after they pick up?
so the free resources you used, there's an intro call script in there, right?
Yes.
Anyone can go to my Instagram, which is my name, which is right here, Jonah Korchin. You guys can find it. It's there. It's free, right? But basically, what you do is you're like, "Hey, Mr. Agent, my name is Jonah. I do everything. I do buy and holds, fix and flipping, wholesaling. I've even done an Airbnb before. But what I do better than anybody else is solve sellers' problems. So if you ever come across one where it's about to be foreclosed on, no equity, hoarder scenario, whatever it might be, my goal is to be the tool in your tool belt that you use to solve that problem and get you your commission. Do you know of anything like that right now? And there's several things that does, right? Like I said that pretty quickly, but the first one is introduce yourself, tell them what you do, the tool in the tool belt line, which is like establishing credibility, showing how you're different than other agents. You actually care about sellers and what's happening with them, right? And then just making sure you ask, do you know of anything right now? And then if they know of something, you can do the lead qualification, but most of the time they won't. And then you're just like, hey, I appreciate you so much. It was awesome connecting, and here's my business card. Save my info in your phone and let's get a deal, right? And then the fifth step is just appreciation. So those are the 5 steps to a good intro call. It's introduce yourself, say what you do, the tool in the tool belt line, and do you know of anything? And then appreciation.
I think that's where a lot of people overcomplicate it because they're trying to have some fancy like intro line, but it's really just, hey, name, what do you do? I'm a tool in your tool belt, and that's all you need. Like
That's all you
I,
need. Don't
yeah,
make it complicated. It's not complicated business. And literally anybody can do it. I think literally anyone can turn it into an income. I think it is super easy to turn wholesaling into a job, a self-employed job where like you control your hours, you can do whatever you want, right? I really don't feel like that's hard for most people. If that's your goal is just freedom in your job or a job where you control your time, like wholesaling is so easy for that. It's like perfect for that, in my opinion. You can live wherever you want. You don't even need to be close to where you are. Like, I don't know. I think it's like the best.
yeah. So did you have people in that market that were going and walking the properties, or was that
So
you?
I live there.
Okay.
I used to live there. I grew up there. I grew up in California. I moved to Denver 3 years ago just 'cause. But I just realized I don't really need to be there to do it. I never need to go to these properties. In fact, it's better to just get used to not going to the properties. You really don't need to, especially with agents. Agents will go to the properties for you and do showings for you and all that stuff, right? That's the good thing versus direct to seller. It's harder to not go to the properties. But I think agents really just get it done for you.
And even on the disposition side, where you're trying to find a buyer, where are you going for that, or how are you building that buyer's list?
So I use Investor Lift a lot. I definitely use Investor Lift, post my property on there. And then other than that, it's I have a huge list. I mean, like Investor Lift is like the main way. I mean, I also have a virtual assistant who's constantly looking for new buyers. He does it through just looking on tax records and just finding new LLCs, right? And
Hmm.
finding their info and then contacting them and then getting them on the list. So his job is to get 10 new ones every single day.
That's amazing. So I want
Yeah.
to shift the conversation a little bit, moving more into AI, because that's a lot of your content that I see over on Instagram, and it's, replacing other employees. So when did you really start implementing AI into the business and, start
It's
replacing the
new. The
employees?
past 3 months, I've replaced 2 VAs. with AI. I'm probably going to replace a third one. The third one's probably going to just turn into an admin assistant, but their role's going to get separated. So we can build now this is a new company. I can build basically an AI bot that does everything, all that DTA lead generation, like finding the agents, uploading the list, setting up intro call appointments for you. So you just have to make phone calls to people who already know who you are. I We can build that now, right? Um, and then you just have it in your business where you are automatically getting leads every single day, right? From this bot that's setting up appointments for you, right? That's one bot, and the other ones are a dispositions bot, which is just the same thing, finding cash buyers all day. Another one is the exact same thing, but for sellers, if you want like seller appointments set up for you every single day with AI. And then the last one is an underwriter bot, which basically will underwrite. Would you just give it an address and photos, and it'll tell you what price to get it at per your needs, right? And those are the pre-made bots, but then we also can do custom bots. Like if you want an employee to do something specific that isn't one of those functions, we can also create custom bots as well, right? Slightly more expensive, but we can do it, right? Um, I mean, my company I call it an AI staffing agency. It can replace any virtual assistant you have in your business and or anyone that you want in your business.
Yeah, and if someone wanted to, dive deeper into that, like what's the company called? How do they get in
Yeah, so
contact?
that would be omnicrewai.com,
Okay. I'll
right?
make sure
That's the
to.
website for that company. If you guys look up omnicrewai.com, you can set up a demo, right? You'll get a call with me, right? And I'll just, yeah, like it'll be cool. Like you'll see the AI actually sets up the appointment with you with me, right? So you can like live see how it works.
Yeah, that's such an interesting tool because I mean, everybody is shifting towards AI. Like the VA businesses, they're completely changing. And how does it relate to what a VA was doing if they're doing the cold calls, now AI is doing it. But have you seen the difference from when a VA is doing it compared to AI? Is it more
I like
efficient?
it a lot more. I like it way more with AI because the AI doesn't get lazy, it doesn't get sick, it doesn't take holidays, it doesn't have to get paid constantly, right? And it sounds the exact same. Nobody can tell the difference. Very few people can actually tell the difference. I mean, some people can tell the difference, right? But it's just training it. Once it's trained, it is very easy for it to work, right? Um, I have it where people are complimenting me once I do, well, I mean my act managers on their assistant who set up the call, being like, wow, you have such an amazing assistant, so professional, right?
Oh, really? That's so
Literally.
cool.
It's insane, right? It's just where we are technologically. It's the future is now, as they would say, right? So why like virtual assistants are incredibly hard to manage. They're eventually going to leave you at some point, and then you have to give them raises, and they're super expensive. Like I sell them for a price that's less than the annual salary of most virtual assistants, right? I make it a no-brainer to buy this product if you're ready for employees, right? Um, and so yeah, like omnicrewai.com for that one. You can book a demo. While you're booking the demo, the AI will set up the entire thing and you'll hear it and be like, "Oh, okay, got it. This is what this is."
And just to be able to like understand one of those calls, the bot's already pre-made that it's going and making the calls. Like, hey, this assistant's already pre-made for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to I say this, there is a training period for your business. Because everybody wants their employees to say different things slightly depending on their style, right?
Gotcha.
They're pre-made, but there is a 2 to 3 week training period. It's not a ton of time. It's probably like an hour a day max during that training period. And then it's good to go within a month. We're able to make it where it's good to go exactly to your qualifications within a month. Um, so yeah, we were always able to do it within a month.
Yeah, and how much time has this kind of given you back in your day and your month?
Well, I mean, I had virtual assistants doing it. So it didn't really give me time back, but it reduced my costs a lot, to be honest, right? Now these things cost, I mean, I don't pay for them because I own the company.
Hmm.
And I was spending like 5 grand a month on VAs, and now it's like two or 1.5 because I got like two more VAs.
Yeah, that's insane. Because I think that's what a lot of wholesalers out here in the Charlotte market are seeing. Like I mean, I've interviewed a couple now, and they all have VAs. They all, do all the cold calling themselves, but they're going direct to the sellers, not to the agents. And I'm just thinking, like, in my mind, like, man, if they had something
They're
like this,
behind.
oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's like, how have you seen a lot of resistance from investors to use this, or are you seeing a lot of investors, move toward it? Like, are they moving away and being really
It's
hesitant?
hard. I mean, if you're making a ton of money, people don't like changing,
Hmm.
right? So like I actually meet people, some of them just don't have enough money, right? Like they don't even have a VA, so they don't have enough money to purchase it. But like others are just like, why? Like I've got my VAs, they're trained really well. Like it just seems like a lot of hassle to switch over. That's been my biggest objection. I'm like, I mean, it's gonna work it way harder than you're currently, right? And I guarantee you, you'll get outcompeted eventually, right? By someone who has something like this.
Hmm.
It's just that's the resistance to change. People know they need it, but they don't know how to use it or are afraid to use it. Or
Yeah,
like not sure or like want to learn it on their own or like there's many different reasons, but it's just like, okay, like the longer you wait, the worse it is gonna get out there.
yeah, I do see that because I mean, even just this past 2 weeks, I've been seeing so much of moving from ChatGPT to Claude and how that's all changing. So, how are you using those two apps, for your business or growing your business?
I don't use Claude as much. My partner who creates the bots uses Claude obviously in the employees,
Hmm.
right? To make the AI employees. But I don't really create the AI employees. It's my business partner. So in my day-to-day life, I use ChatGPT more because ChatGPT, what's good for is like a personal advisor on everything, right? So ChatGPT, I use it a lot for creating SOPs. I use it a lot for thinking. Like I will think thoughts with ChatGPT and just run it off and like be like, what do you think of my ideas? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it just helps me think through ideas,
Hmm.
right? And those are the two main ways I use it, right? It's like, how do I handle X situation? Helps me draw up contracts too. Like that's what I really like about it. It's really good at drawing up contracts if I need a contract, right? Instead of me having to pay a fuck ton of money to a lawyer.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and that's just how I've been using it. And then obviously Claudebot in the is used along with N8N, which is kind of like Zapier or Zapier. That's in that's like an AI version of Zapier N8N. So I use that to connect a lot of different apps and with ChatGPT and other AI programs. It's just a new world. If you're gonna act like we're still in 2019, like you're eventually gonna get outcompeted at some point. Your costs are gonna be just so much higher than mine or another wholesaler's, right? Well, I can operate my business way cheaper than yours. And also these guys are generating leads not while I sleep, because other people sleep at the same time,
Yeah.
but just like they're working constantly, you know,
Yeah,
and
no,
consistently.
for sure. I mean, that's what I see with agents. I mean, they're on different phone call. I mean, they're always on the phones, texts. If they're not answering their phone, I mean, they're going to be losing business. So, I mean, I definitely see the place for AI, and it's interesting being on the calls versus, you know, doing or having AI cold call for me because you're developing that human relationship. But, kind of like you're saying, it's a big numbers game, and the more you can be doing in the numbers, the more it's just gonna be able to, be a result in the bank account. So, before we hop off here, growing the business, like what are you excited about that's coming up for you?
I'm most excited about the AI company, right? Wholesaling, I've got some new salespeople that I'm excited about. A new rep got their first deal. It was only 5 grand, but it was their first deal, so I'm happy for him. That's the most exciting thing to me right now is the AI company by far. just exciting. It's a cool product. I want to see how much of it I can sell. Um, that's like the most thing I'm focusing on right now because my wholesaling company, I just manage it now. I'm at the point of just managing it, right? I have one veteran salesperson. I have two rookies who are starting to generate. I believe in them. Um, and so yeah, like I mean, the system in the it's just very straightforward. My wholesaling company, it's not complicated. So that's what I'm excited about the most. I'm actually going to be like, I know you see me do a lot of social media. You're going to see me go dark for a little bit. And the reason being is because it's distracting me from developing each company, the wholesaling company, the flipping company, and the AI company. The flipping, I'm like, I'm just going to do like one a year just for, like, just for show, basically,
Mhm.
and credibility. But like those other ones, I'm going to like keep doing.
Yeah, that's going to be cool to see the transition because do you see that as a company that you're eventually going to be able to build up and sell, or it's just going to kind of be like this, small
Ideally,
company?
we would sell it, but the thing is I think ChatGPT and cloud might just make our company at some point. There might be a certain point where they decide to just make employees. And it's like, okay, that's like an inevitability I see in the future, to be honest. I don't know how long it's last, but I think there's just a money grab to be had right now in
Mhm.
AI space, just kind of like at the internet revolution, and why not be a part of it?
Yeah, that's such an interesting way of thinking about it because, yeah, like you said, somebody's going to show up on Instagram with, it's like, hey, type this, intro into your Claude bot and it's going to create this employee for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I mean, like they got coding down. You can create an app pretty damn easily now, right? So, how long until they can just make an employee for you? Probably not that long.
yeah, it's such an
Probably, we probably got like a year or two of being of that company before, like, eventually, like, I feel like they'll just do that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The world is weird.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting ride along and just watching even the real estate market change and develop. But Jonah, I appreciate your time coming on here. I know we're different time zones out. You're out in the mountain. Just it's so cool to kind of hear where real estate is going and how, you're doing it with just AI right now and very few employees and, being able to see like, hey, anybody can do this. So, that's motivation for me. I've been following, your free resources. So make sure you go check out Jonah's account, download the free resources. It's helped me out a ton. So make sure you go check that out. I'll link all of Jonah's information. But Jonah, thank you so much for being on. Lots of knowledge dropped on the podcast. Anything you want to say before we hop off here?
That's it. And I mean, if anybody just, I always respond by Instagram. So if you guys just want to go to my Instagram, it's my name, right? It has all the companies I've mentioned, it has all their websites in there. You can DM me. I'm probably going to answer you if you're just asking me a question. I'm always here. People think it's hard to get a hold of me. It's really not. If you DM me on Instagram, I will respond to help you out because I really love seeing new real estate investors get deals. If any of these products are cool or interesting, DM me about those. And yeah, guys, happy deal hunting out there, and I believe in every single one of you.
This has been Jonah and Chris on the Leadway podcast. Thank you so much.